Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about how you can spot dangerous and malicious websites with your own two eyes or four eyes like I currently have. Now you would think that cyber criminals would have given up the fight against using malicious websites and moving more towards spam and text messaging, but cybercriminals are always going to use every method available in order to trick you into giving up your information. And so that means that there is still a danger of malicious websites out there. You really have to pay attention to what sites you visit, what links you get, and how you surf the web because criminals are after your, like how I said that, after your information and they want to get it by all means necessary. So let's jump in and talk about some of the methods that criminals will try to get you to click on stuff and what it looks like to see a malicious website. So first, let's talk about that URL, web address, whatever you want to call it, but officially it's called a URL. So the most important things to look at when you're visiting a website is to make sure that it's a secure website. So the little lockbox that I'm circling around currently and the S are important factors as far as a secure website. What do those mean exactly? Well, for starters, the padlock means that the site itself is secure. If a criminal is setting up a website, they will not take the time to secure a website. Now, keep in mind, sometimes they will make it a secure website, which means that it's just a secure website, meaning that information can't be leaked from it and criminals can't get into it. But some criminals may make a website secure just for the sake of making it look secure. Same thing with the S. The S means that the URL is a secured website. But again, criminals may utilize this to trick you. But just as standard precautions, when you visit a website, these two signs, why am I pointing at? You can't even see what I'm looking at. These two signs, the S and the padlock, let you know that it's a safe and secure website. And for your personal shopping safety online, you need to make sure that those items are there before you give out any personal information. If you do, that means criminals could potentially hack that website easily and get your important information. Always look at that. It's very important. Next is, let's say that someone sends you a link to a website. How do you know that that website is safe and secure? Well, you really don't by even looking at the URL or the secure S on a website. Sometimes you have to do a little investigation yourself and visit Whois, which is the website lookup tool, which will let you know if a website is legitimate or not. How does that work? Well, it's pretty simple. Let me bring up Whois on the Windows desktop computer. We'll go to it and then we'll see where it goes. And just to kind of give you an idea, when you visit a Whois, it really isn't a standard Whois. There's Whois domain lookup by Shopify because they want to keep their customers straight. But there's also one for GoDaddy. But you can always go to the Whois, which is whois.com, and you can type in a domain to see if it's secure. So and who owns it? So if we go to burtonkelso.com, we want to do a search and it will show, wow, oh, there it is. It says it is unavailable. That had me worried for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. But anyway, this kind of gives you an idea of what you will see on the whois.com when it was registered, when it expires, when it was updated, etc., etc. Also should have contact information as far as who owns the network. Under most circumstances, a website that is legitimate is going to be hosted by a known company, such as a Network Solutions or a GoDaddy, but also under most circumstances, it will be a U.S. based company as far as who is holding that website. If you see anything that is foreign as far as a website is concerned, you might want to take a little precaution before you visit that website because, and I'm just glancing at the information on the dual screens I have here. I have one over here and one over there. But yes, you can definitely find out a lot of details about a specific website if you look at the details on Whois. Let's go back to the main website of Whois and let's do one more. Let's do Call Integral Now, which is the company website. We're going to click on search. It'll let you know if it's available or unavailable, which is why most people will look at this process. If you go to Whois and look at the details, it'll give you a little bit more information as far as the website is concerned. Again, network solutions, everything looks legitimate. You can look at all the details as far as the website is concerned. But the thing that you're primarily looking for is just to make sure that the website's been in existence for a while. If you think it's an established company, you can look and see that it's been around for a while as opposed to being a site that was created yesterday or 2 weeks ago. But it kind of gives you a little bit peace of mind of knowing that when you get a link to a website that you can look it up and find out if it's even a real website, which isn't the purpose of Whois. But at the same time, when it comes to looking at malicious websites, you need to use every tool in your arsenal to make sure that you are protected against cybercrime. Because remember, 99% of cybercrime requires user interaction, and that doesn't necessarily mean, well, it kind of does mean clicking on stuff, but at the same time too, it means that you need to do a little due diligence to make sure that those websites are safe and secure, because obviously a lot of websites that you go to are going to be asking for personal details sometimes. So check it out before you give up those details. Next, you would think that this is common sense, but do a little proofreading on that website before you start giving out personal information or even visiting the website. Because sometimes you can visit a website and you're okay. Other times it's just going to attack or do what's called drive-by hacking as soon as you visit the website. But using your wits, you can do some proofreading to make sure that the website has proper grammar and the words on the website are spelled correctly. Not to say that you're ignorant, because I suck at spelling, and luckily, and this is not an ad for them, Grammarly saves my life quite a bit. But can't necessarily use Grammarly on a website, so you have to rely on your 2 or 4 eyes, depending on what you're looking at, to see if there's any misspellings, if there's any words that just don't make sense. Because unfortunately for us in the US, a lot of cybercrime comes from overseas. So sometimes criminals just don't have a good understanding of how to put together words and sentences in the US English language, not Great Britain English language. Also, you probably didn't know this or not, but cyber criminals gear their sites towards the uneducated. So an idiot like myself could possibly fall for one of these websites, especially if there's misspelling, because I suck at spelling. So keep that in mind when you're visiting websites to make sure that you are keeping safe. Next on our list is my favorite dish. Not really, I hate this stuff. But spammy websites. Websites that have tons of ads that pop up or have content that could lead you astray. One of the worst websites that deal with this is Yahoo. And I hate to use Yahoo as an example, but there is a lot of spammy stuff on Yahoo, and I'll bring it up as an example so that you can kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. For email services, Yahoo's great, but like a lot of websites like Google and other websites that make money off of advertisers, you have to be careful what shows up. So if we go to Yahoo, obviously you've got your good news here, but sometimes you have to be careful for some of the stuff that pops up, like Bach Financial, which is over here on the right hand side that I'm circling around. Yes, it's an ad, but is it really Bach Financial? I'm sure it is, but you have to beware of sites like this. Another is an ad by Wolf and Shepard. Why are men so excited for these hybrid dress shoes? I don't know. I think because they're comfortable. But again, it's another thing that you have to watch out for before you start clicking links on websites that you visit. If you visit gaming websites, like I think another good example would be MSN website. Let's go to MSN. Microsoft makes money off of this. And let's look at games. So we're going to type in games, and some of the gaming sites you have to watch out for, especially if you like playing games online. Um, so let's go back to our desktop, and as you can see, a website that's kind of like spammy. Oh, good old Kaspersky wants to give me up to 70% off. I don't know if I want to necessarily get that. Now I can click on this X and get rid of that, but at the same time, do I want this content popping up on the website? And do I want to visit a website where I could potentially click on something malicious that's going to take me somewhere that a company like Microsoft or Yahoo really hasn't paid attention to? So some of these sites like Yahoo, MSN, and some others out there, you can definitely visit them, but you need to be careful, especially if it gets too spammy with the websites. And you know how much I love spam. I really hate this stuff, and I feel sorry for anybody who really likes that. Another key to watch out for are just random pop-ups on websites. Those sites that I showed you before just had spam messages where you're spamming you with content that you want to look at or maybe are interested in reading. I know a lot of times on Yahoo you'll see a news article, you click on it and it just takes you down a rabbit hole because it's an ad. Now sites like this, even though we're 4 years after the iPhone 10, where you get pop-ups that are saying, hey, you've been randomly selected for this. Now sometimes these spam pop-ups will appear because there's an advertisement that wants something to pop up. And I'll give you a good example. You guys are going to laugh at this, but actually both the Integral website and the Burton Kelso website has what's called pop-ups on the site. Now you need to know the difference between random pop-ups on a website. So if you go to burtonkelso.com, you can, we'll show it on the screen. On the right hand side, there's a pop-up. Now a lot of websites will have this because it'll pop up and say, hey, let's chat, or do you want to chat? Same thing with the Call Integral Now, which we'll go there. Didn't want the blog. I've been there quite a bit, so let's go to Call Integral Now. Let's go to the website, and as you can see after a few seconds, a chat window may pop up, will pop up. You can make it pop up. But anyway, it's one of these messages that pop up where people, namely the web administrators, will have a message pop up so that we can be more interactive when you log into our website. Those pop-ups, you're fine, and it doesn't force you into giving out any of your information. It's more of a messaging tool that will pop up just to say, hey, we're here to help if you need it. Other sites that pop up, like spammy post, like this one for an iPhone 10, which I think if you still want it, it ain't gonna work, so don't worry about it. But if you get posts advertising false stuff and it's asking for important information, you definitely want to beware and not click on any things like that. And then finally, there's another tool that you can use to scan websites to make sure that they're legitimate websites. Other than Whois, Google has its own tool that you can use in order to do a check. It's called the Safe Browsing Site Status. I can't believe it. I had the PowerPoint up. But yeah, it's the Safe Browsing Site Status. So again, we'll type in the website that somebody has sent us a link to. You can copy and paste, or you can just type the site in. And then as you can see, it'll let you know that there's safe content or no content. So this is probably one of the safer tools that you can use in order to check a website to find out if content is there. Now let's go to our buddy Yahoo and see what it says. Actually, Yahoo is like, well, heck, you need to take me to a specific page on my site to find out if content is good. But this utility from Google is actually an excellent tool to make sure that if you do get a link to a website, you can copy and paste, which is perfectly safe, put it into the Google Safe Browsing status and find out if the site that you're visiting is a malicious website. Now, when it comes to websites, your best line of defense is, I have to wipe my cheek on that one, is your browser. So it doesn't matter what browser that you're using on your computer, whether it be Firefox, Edge, Chrome, Opera, Safari, and I was trying to pull it up here, but I can't get it to pull up. I was going to even say Brave. A lot of people are starting to use Brave now as a browser, and that's okay. Brave is good. But it comes down to your browser. So always, always, always make sure that your browser is up to the latest version to make sure that you are safe and secure. Most browsers will update themselves automatically. There's really nothing that you can do. But for example, we have Brave open. So real briefly, I'll show you how you can update it. So going back to the desktop, we've got Brave. It's got an error because it's saying that there's an extension for Adobe, which we can ignore. But under most circumstances, you can go to the About section of your favorite browser, and as you can see, it'll let you know if your browser is up to date. Brave uses a version of Chromium, which is basically Chrome, so it's going to update itself on a regular basis. What about some of my other favorite browsers? Let's take a look at Firefox. You go to Firefox, it's going to be the same thing. Click on the hamburger menu, that's called. You can go to Help, and then go to About Firefox, and it'll let you know if it needs to be restarted or if your browser's up to date. Same thing with Google Chrome. If I can find an old, let's see here. Let's go to Chrome. There's our safe browsing status. Go to the menu, go to Help, and then go to About Google Chrome, and lo and behold, it's updating Chrome right now. So I'm using an old, outdated version of Chrome. So as you can see, if your browser is up to date and you go to About and Help, then it'll update it for you automatically and give you steps on what you need to do in order to make sure that your browser is safe and secure. Not going to do Safari because I'm not on a Mac, but we'll finally do, did I click on Edge? Yeah, Microsoft Edge. So the same thing. You can go to Help and Feedback and About Microsoft Edge, and lo and behold, it's checking for updates and it's letting me know Edge is up to date. So browser is your first line of defense to make sure that those websites are going to be safe and secure, but at the same time, you are going to have to do some due diligence with the tips that I've shown you as to what to do to make sure that the website that you're visiting is safe and secure and is not out there to get your information. So with that said, I love that. I'm going to clap again. If you have comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to find out what I can do to help you make sure that your browser's up to date, or help you identify those malicious websites that are floating around. My best information, or the best information that I could give you, is stick with your mainstream websites, because under most circumstances, those websites are going to be malicious free and ad free, and you're going to have a safe browsing experience. If it's unknown websites that you go to, you really have to take precaution. Make sure your browser is up to date, because browsers, all of them, have the ability, if they automatically sense that a website is malicious, it will stop you from going to that website so that you don't infect yourself. And that includes on your computer and on your smartphones, which I didn't show demos for in this video, but it's the same steps. Go to About and go to Help, or Help and or About, or Settings and About, and it'll update your browser for you. Another trick that you can do with your smartphone is if you go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and act like you're going to download your favorite browser onto your phone again, it will download the latest version. A little quick tip there for you. So with every video, I'm always begging and pleading, please like this video, regardless where you're watching it. Watching it on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified about more videos, and be sure to share, because sharing is caring. If you found this information useful and helpful, share it with your friends and family members so that they can help stay safe, because it's all a community effort as far as making sure that everyone is safe from all of the cyber threats out there. So I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourselves and do many things to make you smile, and thanks for watching.